Alright, hello everyone, this is Sierra Games Scott. Welcome all my fans, or individuals who at least watch my videos. This is entitled The End? Question mark. And the reason for that, as you may guess, is I am announcing what is most likely my retirement from the video game, or at least the LP world. And I did leave the question mark on there because never say never. Who knows what will happen in the future. But the short story as to why I have decided to move on, as you might be able to tell from not being able to complete or not working on completing my Space Quest V LP, is I just have been very, very busy, and I do not see any time in the near future when I really would have the time, or at least the motivation, to use my free time to complete that series or to continue on with any additional games. Now, for those of you who don't really care about my life story, that's pretty much the explanation, or just at least a short explanation as to why I'm closing things up. So for those of you who did watch and don't really have much more interest in what I have to say, I appreciate you watching. Appreciate that you enjoyed, at least hopefully to some degree, some of the videos, and best to all of you. For those of you who are interested, I'll just give you a little background of why I got into LPing. I got into LPing pretty much after watching some of the videos. I think it was I don't know if it was actually primarily Late Blade or not. It may have been, because I think I did really enjoy his Quest for Glory 4 video they did with Her Crabbiness, which I think is probably the best LP, best adventure game LP, and I like adventure games the most out there, and I really enjoyed it. And I believe he did Quest for Glory 1 and 2, and so I decided that since nobody else had really done 3, just to take a stab at it. Obviously, as I've mentioned before, I don't think I'm at the same caliber as some of the other LPers, but I did think, hey, it's a good opportunity to get some exposure, since people might be looking for Quest for Glory 3, and just try my hand at it. Didn't look like it would be that difficult. It actually is more difficult than I thought, and I certainly never mastered the art of LPing, but I'm glad that some people have enjoyed some of the videos. But that is definitely what first got me involved in it. And for those of you who don't know, I've hinted at this at times. I actually graduated from graduate school in 2009, in the spring, pretty much the height of the recession, or at least the height of high unemployment. And unfortunately, I was for a long time unemployed. I had to move back in with my parents. Not my most proudest moment. And so, watching the LPs, not just Late Blade, I even watched H.C. Bailey, who I subscribe to on my channel, who does a lot of RPG LPs. It was just really a way to pass the time, and so having a lot of free time, that's how I really got involved in doing LPs, and it was really a cathartic experience. I really didn't realize how much I enjoyed it, how much I would enjoy it. The first one was kind of a little rough, and you can tell probably from some of the commentary. When I really got into it was Gold Rush. I didn't realize how much I enjoyed that game, and I think I had the most fun doing it. I really enjoyed that. I really think that's one of the better experiences of my life. And maybe that's kind of pathetic, but I really did got into it. I think a lot of fans were chiming in and telling me things while I was making it, and then I've probably gotten the best feedback from it afterwards. So that's really was an enjoyable experience for me. And then it just helped. A lot of that just helped me take my mind off, unfortunately, the tough employment situation, and just a lot of the free time I had, I could devote to creating those videos. And I just kind of continued on with videos such as Police Quest 2 and King's Quest 3, even though they had been done before. They were games I had enjoyed beforehand and thought they were short enough to do half decent LPs on. Unfortunately, as some of you may remember, I had some technical issues, not having a lot of money. I wasn't able to get a laptop for a while, and unfortunately that kind of impeded me from being able to create videos until I got back into Conquest of Camelot. I tell you all this for one thing, just to tell you how much I've really enjoyed doing the LPs, how much it meant to me in a lot of ways, and that people enjoyed watching some of the things I did as well. But also to say that it was definitely something I did because of the free time I had, and unfortunately, or fortunately actually, that's no longer the case. I have had various things that have come up since I'd say last summer in terms of job options, but it hasn't been till within the last few months, couple months, that I actually have been finally full-time employed, like a real job with real salary, real benefits, and of course real working hours, which everything else is pretty good except for the fact that I just have to work a long time. I do have a pretty, I don't know, considerable commute, but a commute of some substance, or some length, I should say. And I'm just very tired when I get home. I don't have a lot of time during the day, and during the weekends, I just haven't really had the motivation to get back into the LPing. I think one of the things has been that Space Quest V is not my favorite game. I didn't really realize that until I got back into it, and I started it when I was sort of, I think, in a lull of employment, or things hadn't really picked up. I can't remember exactly. I think I did Space Quest 4 when I was in between a couple contract positions, and I think I started Space Quest 5 right after that, or right after I got a new contract, sort of temp position, I guess. And I kind of lost interest. But anyway, the point being that Space Quest 5 just didn't do it for me. I played it a lot. I don't have this nostalgic value because I played it well after some of the other games. I don't recall liking it that much at the time. I know it's strange because I think a lot of Space Quest fans actually consider Space Quest 5 to be the best, and maybe because it allows you to be a captain of a starship, though it doesn't give you that much versatility. I don't think it really does follow a pretty linear plot. But in any event, when I got back into it, I just found the puzzles kind of boring. I just didn't find the characters that interesting. I didn't have a lot of memories attached to it, so I apologize if you love the game. I can see why. Just for some reason it wasn't for me, and so it does take a little bit of effort to create these things and to sit there and do it. And I really think if I'm not having fun, you guys, it's not that great for you guys either. And moreover, just didn't have after having tight work schedule and the like, just didn't really have the motivation to spend my free time getting into it. I did consider other videos or other LPs that I could do, and I guess the problem is the games I really like I've either done or other people have done many times over in many cases. And so I mean, one of the benefits of Gold Rush and Quest for Glory 3 that kind of allow me to get a little bit of attention and probably more subscribers and attention than I would normally get, is that those games just weren't really done before. And so when you search for those LPs on YouTube, my videos tend to come up first, even though some people may have taken a stab at them recently because I got some of the hits early on, or some of the visits early on. They still get pretty decent rankings, and so those are more popular. It's kind of hard to do when you do a game that's really been done to death. You get pushed on the third, fourth page of YouTube searches, and so I think a lot of the people who do watch some of like things like King's Quest or Police Quest get into it because they've watched probably some more popular or videos that have better placement in the YouTube search. So I just didn't want to get into that, and I think a lot of people have done some of those games a lot better than me too, so I didn't want to go back over that. And like I said, the time restrictions are fairly considerable. Maybe there'd be a point where I'd have a job that's less demanding, or I can handle things a little bit better, and maybe there'd be a game I'd want to do. So I do leave it open-ended. As for Space Quest 5, I don't plan on completing it. Just like I said, don't have the huge motivation to do it, or really the time. I'm undecided as to whether I will keep it up or just take them down. I do apologize though. I never like it when LPers are in the middle of an LP and then abandon it. You want to see what happens next, and so I do regret that, and that's probably a reason I would take those videos down. For those of you, anyone who's waiting, so I do regret that. And I do apologize for anyone who wants to see how things turned out, but I really just don't feel like I'm just going to be in a position to finish that up and create the next several videos that it would take to complete the entire game. And anyway, I try not to do that. Didn't want to do that in the past. I really was very remorseful that I had to have those technical problems, and probably missed out on producing a couple more LPs. But the ones I did produce, I really did love. And the other video I might take down, or probably will take down, is a video where I was giving you an update, and it was a webcam video. Not that I'm all that paranoid, but I'd just rather not keep my image out there. I kind of put it up there just to experiment the webcam and give you an update. That update's kind of obsolete now, so I'll probably remove that, remove the most of Space Quest 5, unless there are any objections, which I couldn't imagine. The other videos I will leave up. I'm not leaving YouTube altogether. I still do watch some of the other LPers, though a lot of people have kind of cut back on how much they're producing, and I do kind of watch. I don't comment that much. I'm not really part of any LP community. I think I've mentioned before, but if you have comments, if you want to send me questions or anything, I'll still be around there. I just probably will not be making any more videos, so I'm not entirely going away, but I'm not all that interactive with the LP community to begin with, and not going to really continue on the LP course for the most part. I don't want to ramble on too long. I guess I don't have all that much more to say. I do just want to reiterate that I appreciate everyone who was able to, or pardon me, who enjoyed the videos, who commented. I think with a few exceptions, there's never really anything all that nasty that came out, and most people were pretty kind, pretty nice, pretty complimentary. I'd be the first to admit that I'm definitely not the best at this, and probably could use some refinement, but I am glad that people did enjoy it. I think I had a lot of fun with the videos, and so I hope that was hope that at least bled through a little, and maybe compensated for some of my other shortcomings in producing them. But I just mentioned earlier on that it was really cathartic to me to produce these things. That maybe sounds a little silly, a little sentimental to put so much stock in creating old videos of me playing old video games, but it really did take my mind off a time that was fairly depressing to me, and that it was just great to be able to interact with people who enjoyed the same games, and something like Gold Rush, just getting into it and really just felt like it was really a labor of love. And so I'm very glad people seem to enjoy that one, and I really enjoyed making it. And I think they were just a really great aspect of my life. And even though LPs aren't going to be play as much as a role in my time now that I have other things to do, both watching them and creating them, I think it was just a really great experience to be able to get involved in and learn about them and watch other people's take on games and be able to give my own take on the games. So that's great. Always feel free to contact me. I will be open-minded to possibly taking a look at some other games, and I know people made suggestions, but at this time there's nothing that really pops out to me, and I don't really think like I mentioned, have the time to get into them. And so with that, I will stop rambling on and just say that I appreciate everyone once again, and for the last time most likely, this is Sierra Games Scott signing off. Take care. Thanks a lot, everybody.